Hi, welcome back. This is going to be a pick a card reading. I'll leave this image up so you can pick a card that resonates with you. You can pick one, two, or all three. Card number one, card number two, and card number three. These piles have been pre-shuffled. If you would like to see the shuffling of each pile, that will be linked down below, as well as the piles. You can find their links. If you just want to listen to pile number three, you can skip ahead and do so. If you want to listen to them all, you can stay right here. So let's begin. Hi viewer, if you chose pile number one, this turquoise crystal here, this will be your message, all right? This first card, I just want to mention really quick before I get into this reading, is card number 43, and this being pile number one, we're starting out with 143, which means I love you. You're receiving a lot of support from your guides, and this is the message that they most want you to hear right now, okay? So we're going to jump right in here. And before I do, I just want to mention, if you would like to view the shuffling of this pile, it will be linked down below, all right? So you can tell I didn't just rifle through the decks and pick what went together, because this does, the same message keeps coming out, and there's a lot of synchronicities along with this pile, which we'll get into. All right, but we're starting out with a card from the, let me grab the book here so you can see, the White Light Oracle Guide. All right, so this is the first card for every pile. This is the card that you saw in the photo. So number 43, Karma of Kuchuhala. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing this right. All right, so we're going to actually read from the book here, as with a lot of the oracle decks, I don't have them all memorized. All right, so I'm going to read right from the book for this card number 43, and then we will move on. So number 43, found on page 214 here. Your sacred soul passion is powerful enough to shift the state of your inner reality and your outer experience. So commit to what truly ignites your heart, and do not be dissuaded by anything or anyone. If you are seeking to make a commitment, do so when it truly connects to your heart. Follow your genuine, meaningful bliss. Know that no matter what appears to be, you shall prevail, you shall arise. All right. So, Kutuhala is a Sanskrit term that translates to that which excites wonder. This is about following your bliss, and how allowing for some things beautiful, this deep calling that you are feeling to unfold. Even if it doesn't seem like you're being led anywhere practical at the moment, following that inspiration, those instincts here, all right, taking that inspired action. A lot of times we pursue those sensible and secure paths forward, all right? But think about what would be more divinely delightful than pursuing a path so fascinating, so utterly mesmerizing to the spirit, that no matter what challenges arise, you feel so much love and commitment and passion that you don't want to turn away. So what is it that excites you? What do you want to know more about? Where does your heart lie? What are you feeling pulled to learn about, to do, to teach, to share? What are your deepest desires and passions that you've been pushing down for so long? This isn't about clipping your wings, but about growing them learning how to fly skillfully, about making that commitment to yourself and taking that leap. So let yourself be truly inspired and excited. Allow yourself to stumble, sometimes to not know the outcome. That mess that always precedes a sacred rebirth and liberation. Don't allow the ego to tell you that the struggle must be a sign that this path isn't right for you, because challenges and setbacks are not signs you're on the wrong path. They are the path. Without resistance, viewer, we'd never grow stronger. Moving on here to the passion flower and the message that this card holds. So the passion flower, you can read exuberant quietude here on the top. This card is about the study of opposites, really, at its foundation. The passion flower climbs vigorously, maybe sometimes invasively, sending those exploring leaves and fingers through fence slots and wall crevices. What's over there? The passion flower wonders, right? Always trying to get to the other side, to expand beyond current boundaries. This is about reaching, striving, and climbing. This is about that calm that happens when the television, the computer, and the phone are all silent. So you're being urged to pause in your quest and take time for a new experience, which is inner quietude. Meditation, perhaps. You may ask why, and this is because being able to be quiet and still is the passion flower's secret to this exuberant expansion without stress or burnout here. We have card number 27 from a different deck, also talking about practicing patience here. All right, so we have conditions outside us sometimes determine the best time to move forward. Wait and work on something else until these conditions change. Card number 27. 27 may be something you are seeing quite frequently here, because I just have to say, this card is number 27. The meaning of this card is on page 27 in this book here. So you may be seeing 2727 or 2s and 7s, all right? So I just want to put that out here. So whenever we feel the need to control the timing of an outcome, we're being guided and led by fear. So when we put our energy and attention on what is not happening for us at the time, we only experience more frustration and negativity. So focus instead on the desired outcome and then let it go. Allow the universe to manifest your dreams, and in its own divine timing. We can't force it. The message of this card is one of patience, obviously, and we do better for our emotional state and for our well-being by choosing faith or patience over impatience. So if you find yourself trying to force a situation or outcome, stepping back to get a bigger picture, ask yourself, have I done all that I can do now? Is there any step that I've missed, overlooked, or rushed? And if the answer is no, take a breather, step back, make room for the universe to work its magic. All right? You have bird's eye view, which I mentioned when I pulled this up. It was on page 27. Okay. This says, fly high and observe from above. Here you'll find a new perspective, greater understanding, and compassion. Again, getting a bigger picture here, stepping back. So I absolutely love, first of all, the synchronicities that come out with all the readings. We have the same message here, and it's really beautiful. But this card is from the Hummingbird Wisdom Oracle, all right? This book right here. And talking about a bird's eye view, the hummingbird is constantly shifting its perspective, zooming out to get a wide view of what's being offered below and then darting back for a quick drink of nectar. This card is guiding you to tag along with that hummingbird and hover from higher ground to examine your current situation from different angles before darting in with any hasty actions or decisions. Perhaps you're standing too close to the person or the issue, and too close, you can't get a clear or accurate view of all the pieces of the puzzle. It's difficult to navigate or understand when you're so focused on one particular area. So there's a broader view being offered. And when you step back and you see that bigger picture, that broader view, that will shift everything that you're currently experiencing. As you pull back from the issue at hand, perhaps ego-based fear or anger or judgment of yourself or others, your heart opens to compassion, forgiveness, and this deeper understanding when you're able to take in all of the pieces here. All right. We also have the 9 of Gabriel coming out. The words read, "Stay determined and move forward. Be prepared for any possibility." And also this card relates to environmental activism. Perhaps that's something you're interested in here. It doesn't have to be. It's just an additional meaning for the card. But the 9 of Gabriel, this one, of course, is about staying determined and moving forward, just as it says. But being prepared, yes, this card is about not giving up your determination. You know, you need that determination now more than ever. You've come a long way. You've worked hard. And what you've created or about to create is important and valuable. This is about standing your ground, protecting what you have created or what you are about to create, your vision, okay? Being prepared for any possibility, or, you know, your position is secure. You've proven yourself here. So as long as you have confidence, you may be tired, yes, but this is that last hurdle, that last obstacle, that last challenging situation before success comes your way, all right? This is about sticking with your plans, having faith in your ability, trusting yourself, all right? And however you come to those terms and you accept yourself through this stilling of your mind, quieting those thoughts, those overthinking, that negative self-talk perhaps, that fear of stepping into the unknown, of moving toward your vision here. I get with this reading here as I'm going through that there is a big dream, a big vision, and it's scaring you because it's so big. You want something so big, and you're questioning your ability, your talent, your confidence, your belief in yourself here. All right, as I say that, my fingers are tingling here. Perhaps you are a healer here. I do Reiki, and usually I get this feeling when I am in the middle of a session. So it's coming out now, which is a little bit strange here, okay? So perhaps you feel called to healing, all right? So I just want to say that. Okay, so moving on, you have the Knight of Pentacles, which is all about staying grounded, being responsible, feeling secure in yourself. It's about staying focused, disciplined, and working steadily to achieve your goals. It's about moving forward and not giving up. Same message here, all right? The Knight of Pentacles is, yes, the slowest moving knight in the deck, and that's because he assesses the situation first before he moves forward, slowly and steadily, persistently, efficiently, cautious, and patient, making decisions based on what he trusts the most, but always making progress moving forward, not giving up, staying grounded, staying the course. And we have this nourishment while waiting. I feel like this is one of the biggest messages in this reading here. We see this, I'll just keep the card here as I talk about this. So we see this baby hawk here. The hawk is a power bird with a big medicine message here. The hawk is fearless, a visionary, a messenger. The hawk is your higher self. And in this image, the baby hawk represents the part of you with an overwhelming desire to step into who you fully want to be, to fulfill your purpose. The mouse up top represents the nourishment that the baby hawk will need to develop into his or her most fulfilled self. So you're learning the wisdom of nourishment while waiting. This is a moment for patience. What will you do while you wait for your vision to manifest? Are you nourishing your body? Are you paying attention to what you are feeding it? And I don't mean just food, but yes, food too. But what thoughts are you feeding yourself? What are you saying to yourself? How do you talk about yourself? But there is also a message here about food and nourishment here, all right? I'm also being drawn to this environmental activism here, and it's sort of reminding me of like organic farming and organic foods and eating whole foods and taking care of your body, getting moving, and paying attention to your diet. So that message could be for somebody here, all right? You know, flowers blossom in their own time, but the gardener has to plant the seeds in the right soil, cultivate the seeds' growth, ensure that the seeds are being nourished, pulling the weeds, planting where there's the most sunlight provided, and watering. So while you're waiting for your next step to be revealed, you must also prepare yourself for success. So the baby hawk needs to be nourished before she or he can achieve all of her greatness as an adult hawk. And this is why you must nourish yourself on every possible level. Ask yourself what skills your future self holds that you currently don't have. Start researching or practicing or learning something new. Perhaps you feel called to take a class, go back to school, learn something new, pick up a book. So this is not only just waiting in patience for your desires, your goals, your dreams to manifest, but this is about learning while you wait, staying persistent, showing up for yourself, developing and strengthening yourself and what you are interested in, because it's in that constant nourishment that you become your greatest self and you start to magnetize what you want, your dreams, and pull them in toward you. You know, a message is coming through here. You don't become great when you achieve that great goal. That's not the point that you become great. If you think about the Olympians that win gold medals here, they didn't become great when they won that gold medal. They became great when they decided to take the steps on their path to pursue that goal. They became great when they decided to commit to themselves, to not give up, to trust in their ability. That's the moment they became great. And the end result is winning the gold medal. All right? Moving on here, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Here, these three cards, if you watch the shuffle, you don't have to. They fell out all together, and these two cards fell out together, so I read them together, okay? So the Wheel of Fortune is all about divine timing. I'll show you this card. It's about the cycles in life, the ups and downs. It's about opportunities coming in at the right time. This indicates a turning point, or that now is the right time. You are exactly where you're meant to be here, and there is a shift coming. The Moon card, we see this crow resting on a branch, staring at the moon as the moon reflects back a shadow, a darker image of herself. Below the crow, you see a pond that represents our subconscious mind. And you see this caged raven there, symbolizing the crow's wild side that she attempts to restrain, to push back, to hold back. It's the part of herself that she tries to conceal because maybe it brings up feelings of shame or guilt, confusion, anxiety, insecurity, fear. The moon illuminates areas where we project our insecurities, and in doing so, we fall victim to our own harmful powers that may have infiltrated our subconscious. This is about traveling inward to find those areas where fear and anxiety have taken control. What have you been concealing? What have you been pushing down? What haven't you wanted to face? That fear, that insecurity, that anxiety. This is learning to recognize and accept all the parts of yourself, even those parts that you may consider weaknesses. Now is the time to dive deep and get beyond those, because something great is coming in this quietude. The universe is giving you this time to go within, to see where those blockages are, to work them out, to release stress, release exhaustion, the burnout here, and to follow your path. You have a huge purpose here on earth. And honestly, my fingers are tingling again. I feel like this is my healer group here. All right. So we have the 10 of Wands here. Now I see that you've been exhausted, you've been stressed, you've been burdened. But also in this card, I see that we are simplifying. We're coming to the end of this, spreading ourselves too thin, taking care of others before ourselves here. All right. So always pleasing others, being there for others, and depleting our cup and not having any energy for ourselves, for our own healing. Maybe feeling even a little bit bad about taking time for yourself here. All right. So you need time for yourself. Okay. Simplifying our life, laying down our burdens here. Okay. You've been carrying too much. It's time to release what you have been carrying. Maybe you've been carrying around these thoughts that you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, you're not talented enough, you don't have enough knowledge to pursue your path here. All right, so it's time to let that go. It's time to let these anxieties, these burdens, these stresses, this overactive mind, it's time to let that go and just be quiet, be patient, and expect what you want to come in. All right. We have the Hierophant here. The Hierophant at grassroots represents established power structures and institutions. Okay. This is about education, traditions, religious institutions, and higher learning. This is a time to seek knowledge, perhaps from some person that you trust, being open to hear advice. The Hierophant, the role here is to stand before others as a mentor or a spiritual teacher. Perhaps that's what you feel your calling is, to teach, to guide. Perhaps you have somebody in your life that you can turn to for this teaching, this guidance, this advice, okay? The Hierophant is deeply connected to the divine and can also represent guidance coming in from your higher self or through a professional healer. So maybe you want to find a Reiki master, find a teacher, find a crystal healer. Maybe you are being drawn to that, to a professional healer, or maybe you are being drawn to that path, okay? This is about remaining open to hearing advice, finding that guru within, quieting our mind so we can hear that, so we can connect with our inner voice, our higher self here. And that's where we fill our cup up. You end with the Ace of Cups, and how beautiful this reading is, viewer. This is, first of all, the Ace of Cups is about positive emotions overflowing, right? This is where the connection with your higher self comes, and you accept all of yourself here. The Ace of Cups, that positive emotions, feelings of satisfaction leading from the heart, allowing abundance to flow. This is about your spiritual growth here. And how you fill your cup up, you replenish your energy, and therefore you are able to give to others. We can't give from an empty cup, right? So this is about your spiritual growth, coming into your own and allowing opportunities to present themselves. The Ace of Cups is also associated with fertility, pregnancy, and birth here. And I'm not getting the feeling that I need to warn you that you might become pregnant or that you are fertile. This is strictly, what do you want to birth into the world? What do you want to nurture? What do you want to create here? That is the message that's coming out very, very strong. Believing in yourself, having patience, allowing that inner voice to be heard, and during the wait, learning about what you're interested in, getting out there, researching, following those instincts, that impulses, those strange impulses, like, you're driving down a road and you feel this strange urge or impulse to take that road on the right that you've never been down. Do it. If you have time, do it. Because you might see a beautiful scene. You might come across something running across the road. Spirit is around you, sending signs and synchronicities. Pay attention to what's going on around you. You're on the right path. Don't try to force it. When you're baking cupcakes, you can't take them out of the oven before they're done, or you just have mush. Something isn't done. The universe is still working with you. And I feel like it's because you have this big dream. You need some patience here, but you're being given this time to expand your knowledge in a certain direction here. So using it wisely, that's the message here, okay? Thank you so much for being here. This is a beautiful, beautiful pile of healers. And thank you for sharing your beautiful energy with me. If you like this reading, please feel free to hit that like, share, subscribe button, okay? I'm truly grateful and appreciative of it. It does help my channel grow. And have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care. Hi, pile number 2. If you were drawn to pile number 2, you were drawn to this Herkimer diamond, all right? And in looking at the cards that came out for you, I want to talk about a diamond for a little bit. If you're interested in looking at the shuffling of this deck, you can find that link down below, okay? So, talking about diamonds, we're all diamonds in the rough. A diamond is nothing more than a clump of carbon, coal that refused to give in to pressure. And we can learn a lot about life by studying diamonds. What makes a diamond so strong is also what makes it so intriguingly beautiful. Intense heat and pressure cause carbon to crystallize over the course of billions of years. From deep within the earth, diamonds are brought to the surface during violent pressure and change. So as with diamonds, so it is with you. Life's sudden upheavals bring our true worth, value, and strength to the surface. The pressure we face during hardships and trials cause the hidden treasure within us to emerge. A diamond is resilient, stable, pure, strong, but it doesn't happen overnight. So when you finally emerge from the very darkest, crushing, breaking experiences in your life, you emerge the strongest and brightest that you've ever been. And that's what's happening right now for you. We're starting out with, let me show you the book here, a card shuffled out of the White Light Oracle. And you can, as I said, see the shuffling linked down below. So we're starting out with Dakini of Infinite Light. My apologies if I'm not pronouncing that correctly here. All right. So I'm going to actually read this first message right from the book here. All right. It's card number 9 here. All right, here we are. Page 77. Wow. A divine message indeed, right? Seek and you shall find. Find the teachers and the teachings which feel pure to your heart. But remember, it is the inner truth of you that will ultimately set you free. Do not give your power away, but do trust in a greater guiding wisdom at work in all aspects of your life. Ask for help from enlightened spiritual beings in any matter of concern, and help shall be granted. Believe all problems can be resolved, and a more graceful life experience is opening up for you now. All right from the book there. Now, getting into this card here, a Dakini is a supernatural being who inspires spiritual practice, guides one to actualize their spiritual abilities, and teaches the path of awakening here. Okay? She protects us from negativity and restores our vital energy. She teaches us how to act with wisdom. She can be a demanding teacher, requiring us to really reflect upon those mysteries that we have. She presents herself through dreams, inspirations, meditations, then allows us to proceed to unravel them. And as we do so, we develop our inner capacity and become stronger. So when this card appears in a reading, travel your path and explore your questions about spirituality and awakening with confidence. There's a lot of progress that you can make as you do that. All right. Some Dakinis are fully enlightened, while others are still in the process of awakening truly to their enlightened beings. And they have the ability and desire to assist all others into this enlightenment. They know how to lead us along the path because they have walked it before. So no matter where you are on your path of awakening or healing, you're right where you need to be. The Oracle of Dakini, of infinite light, brings an increase of light to your life. So this can be a lightening up after a difficult time, an increase of clarity from a helping, healing, higher perspective, spiritual being, a clear path, a clear positive path opening up through this troublesome time here. So regardless of her appearance, how she comes, how that message is received by you, this signifies a sacred victory and an awakening for you that you are going through. But it is a change, and changes are uncomfortable here. All right? So moving on, you actually have had 3 cards that fell out from this particular deck. I decided to keep them all and not reshuffle, and I'm glad I did. So we have the Lady's Mantle, which is fortitude. This is all about courage in pain or adversity. The message with this card, Lady's Mantle, whispers, you can make it through this lifetime. Your soul is whole, and no matter what pains or abuse the physical world throws at you, you have the integrity of spirit. This card often comes along when we have experienced past trauma, and it shows the names of the roads that will carry you through that and out of those dark times. Lady's Mantle doesn't demand, she waits, knowing you'll find both the bravery and fortitude within. Never lose faith in your strength, and with her help, she will guide you on your way. Before I move to the next card, I want to stop and talk about trauma for a little bit. This isn't the Trauma Olympics. We're not comparing our trauma with others. Whatever the worst thing is that you have been through is the worst thing that you have been through. All right? Oftentimes we talk about trauma and we have this vision in our head of a soldier returning from war or a child that was abused. And that's not always how it happens for us. It's not about comparing yourself and your trauma with others. It's about identifying yours and healing it and working through it and finding a different perspective. Okay? You also have this lavender card. It's a card of tough love. Now, people think lavender is soft, quiet, and after all, it calms rowdy children, right? Beyond that powdery scent of lavender, there's a hint of menthol. Have you ever smelt lavender? Have you ever tasted it? Well, lavender appears to be uh, a down-to-earth and gracious energy. And yes, it will soothe your soul and sing you to sleep, but that's not all we need from her. She handles emergencies with precision, keeping a cool head, a stout heart. When lavender appears, it's time to ground yourself and dig into the task at hand. My cat wants to say hi, and I'm reminded by spirit that a cat's purring is very healing also. His name is Ozzy. He came to say hi and offer his healing energy here as well. So we'll see if he decides to lay or if he's going to continue to be a disturbance here. But let's continue here if we can, if he can find a spot to just lay down here maybe. And we'll move some cards and maybe he'll join us here. If not, I might have to pause this and continue here. Let's see if I can get Ozzy to just pick a spot here and lay. All right. So also, moving on, fittingly so, you have, ooh, okay, yeah, he's creating a disturbance here. All right, maybe this is a time to connect with your pets, to pet them, to take time to appreciate them. I don't know if you listen to Esther Hicks. She channels Abraham, but one thing she talks about is finding a positive thought and keeping that thought for it's like 16 or 17 seconds, and from that another positive thought will emerge here. Maybe that's somebody you might want to listen to. Maybe you do. All right, but we're going to continue here. Ozzy is going to stay here for the time being. I'm going to show you this red clover card here. This is all about centering and grounding. This particular crop feeds horses, cows, sheep, goats, and just about anything else humans keep at pasture. She plants your feet on the ground, whether it's 2 or 4, encouraging you to run a few miles, to dive into that art project you've been avoiding. Red clover wants to get you moving in body and spirit. When you're acting from a strong center, you can step out and move forward. Red clover is getting your blood stirring so that you can fully show up in your life here. All right? Let me just remove Ozzy here. He's being a little bit of a distraction here, although I do love him. All right, we are continuing, and I'm not trying to waste anybody's time here, okay? So moving on, here we have this card of healing, all right? Card number 40. Wounds need to be acknowledged before they can heal, especially those unseen. Give yourself the time and space, whatever is necessary to regain your wholeness. Self-love involves knowing yourself deeply and taking responsibility for whatever you need right here and right now. Self-love means self-care, and that is not selfish. Focusing on the well-being and the needs of the most important person in your life, and that's you. All right. I did have to pause the video, and it looks like Ozzy has found his place on the floor and he's laying down there now, so my apologies. We're going to continue here talking about card number 40 and this healing and how wounds need to be acknowledged before they can heal, especially those unseen. And this is about giving yourself the time and the space or whatever is necessary to regain your wholeness, to acknowledge those wounds and to heal. All right? Now, self-love, that's what we were talking about, and that involves knowing yourself deeply and taking responsibility for whatever you need right here, right now. Self-love means self-care, and that is not at all selfish. So focusing on the well-being of the most important person in your life, that's you. So healing requires acknowledgement of the wounds and any unhealthy patterns we may have. Maybe that's downplaying your needs or running from conflicts, accepting abuse, ignoring your worth, or relying on other people's approval. However they show up, by releasing these patterns, you can embrace new, healthier habits. Now, because we have this card and the next one talking about the reflecting pond, before I get into that, we're going to talk a little bit about shadow work, self-improvement. They say what resists persists. So what are you hiding from? Or what are you embarrassed about? These thoughts, embarrassments, ideas about yourself and how you feel about yourself. Because of these shadows, these thoughts, they take up room in your subconscious. We have something like 60,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of them are repeating thoughts, this loop. All right? This is about removing yourself from this loop, looking at this, getting to the root cause of why we're feeling this way, okay? So, my cat, hopefully he's not going to jump up. He's in some papers here. Hopefully it's not too loud for you. I'm going to continue. And I do see, we'll get to the devil card, but it did come out. So I'm going to touch on that energy, the devil card. Now, it's not an evil card by any means, but it can bring to light any addictions that we have as an escape to not deal with stresses. Something that we do that causes us not to have to think of what's stressing us out. Now, of course, these could be addictions like drinking, drugs, but it can also be denial, too much time on social media, comparing ourselves to others, need to prove ourselves for validation, looking for that, all right? So we're talking about shadow work. Now, this can come in a lot of different forms: therapy, coaching, journaling, meditation, retreats. They're all forms of healing, and they all lead to the same outcome. So maybe asking yourself, what is it, if eliminated, would make you feel lighter or freer? Or what have you been avoiding? What is uncomfortable that you've been pushing away? Now, in talking about trauma, everyone has experienced trauma, difficulties, loss in life, learning coping mechanisms based on past environments. So we all learn our coping mechanisms based on our past, all right, those authority figures in our life. And sometimes, despite their best intentions, those parents, those teachers, those role models, they may not have given us the support or guidance we need because maybe they themselves have been wounded. All right? So this card appears when those wounds need addressing, when a new way of healing is developing, or when an old issue is ready to be faced and released. If we're talking trauma, we think about the worst case scenarios, the refugee camps, the soldiers coming back from war, but that's not always the case, right? In fact, it's less likely that that's the case. Don't compete in the trauma Olympics. Don't compare your trauma to others. Your worst thing that you've been through is still your worst thing that you have been through. And if you're thinking about it, if you're dwelling on it, it is a big deal, no matter what it is. So maybe it was an unsupportive parent as a kid. Maybe it was bullying in school, all right? Whatever the case, your trauma is your trauma, okay? Each journey toward wholeness is going to be unique for each person. What is important is that you remember your wholeness, your birthright to love, to health, to abundance. That's what's most important. And knowing that you are worth it. All right? So moving on here, we have the reflecting pond. This is about celebrating the true beauty and light that lies within you and others. So as you look at this picture and you see the hummingbird and the reflection of itself, you might think that the hummingbird's instinct would be to peck at that other bird it sees in its reflection. It may cause the hummingbird to grow more confused or frustrated, constantly pecking at its reflection, right? While another hummingbird might stare at its own reflection, appreciating the beauty that's staring back. What seems like the other bird is always a reflection of you and how you are choosing to see yourself in the world at that moment. If there's something or someone in your outer world that is not pleasing, you turn inward when you take the time for this self-reflection, this contemplation, and connecting with your true self. The easiest way for me personally is through meditation. All right? You begin to see the beauty that lies within you and all around you. You'll begin to realize that judging others is the same as judging yourself. You begin to realize that others treat us in the way we treat ourselves. And as you grow more compassionate and appreciative of yourself, you will find others beginning to reflect that back to you. We have the card number 12 of perspective. There's a better way. You've probably noticed that your past approach is no longer working for you. You're being asked to pause what you're doing and look at things from a different perspective. Dare to be different here, all right? This time of reflection is temporary, but it is so extremely important to your spiritual evolution and your growth. Now, I see a lot of thinking cards here. I'm going to show you, we have the perspective, we have the reflection, the healing here, and then we have both of these cards showing up, the Hanged Man and the Hierophant, but if you look closely at them, deep in thought. You are what you think. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts about yourself? Overthinking, overanalyzing, trying to find answers. But when we stay in that energy or vibration of needing to find an answer, we can't get to the right channel where we allow the answer to come in. By focusing on the questions, the problems, what we need to change, what we're seeing right now, by focusing on that, you're not allowing the solution to come in, all right? Esther Hicks does talk about that as well. This might be something you want to check out. Her name keeps coming up. My guys keep giving me her name. So perhaps you do listen to her. Maybe you used to listen to her and you've fallen away from her videos. Maybe this is a little message to get back or to look her up, or she has books, she has audio you can listen to here. She even has some tarot cards that I have as well. All right. So moving on, you are what you think here. The flamingo is not born pink. She takes on her color because of what she eats. That's a clear depiction of you are what you eat. And she's appearing now to say you are what you think. Now this is going to require a profound amount of discipline toward the way that you think. The true importance of our thoughts is demonstrated by quantum physics, which reveals that what we feel and think greatly affects our reality. Our thoughts create this wave of energy that is then mirrored back to us in material form, with a delayed response, of course, right? So this means that you do not instantly get what you think, but if you feel and believe something for long enough, you'll see that belief mirrored back to you at a future point in time. What thoughts are you nourishing at this time? Does the image in your mind produce an outcome of fulfillment or defeat? One of the messages that comes with this card, the flamingo's medicine, we could say, suggests scripting for altering or transforming your inner beliefs. Scripting is the process of rewriting your story to program your subconscious with a new, more profound understanding of your existence. Here, I feel like that's what a lot of the times you're trying. Why am I here? What is my purpose? Here, I feel like that is one of your questions. I feel like there's a lot of questions here, a lot of overthinking, overanalyzing. All right. So, scripting, journaling, maybe dedicating 5 or 10 minutes every night or morning to write out your new reality. You can make it fun. It's easy to do as long as you're disciplined and set aside time to do this. Writing out the reality you intend to happen as if it has already happened. For example, I'm so excited I created my own business and it happened so easily. I am connecting with people on such deep levels. I'm so grateful I found the person of my dreams. All right, some examples here. It's sort of intentional brainwashing in a way. And after about a month of maybe dedicated scripting every day, you'll start to see your world shift into your new story. And this is intentionally manifesting. This is changing your reality. You wouldn't get into a taxi cab without giving the driver an address. Have a plan, have a vision, have a destination, and stick to it, commit to it, all right? So we're talking about next the Devil card, and the Devil card is not an evil card when it shows up. It's an identification of something that has been a blockage or has had power over us that we feel unable to move. This is that very blockage that we talked about earlier, however it comes to be. The devil, right? That desire, that toxic behavior, that obsession, that fear. What are we lying to ourselves about? What is making us feel trapped? What are we ignoring? This is getting to the root of that and realizing that it's not a brick wall. We can overcome this by changing our thoughts. You are what you think. If you say to yourself, I can't do that, guess what? You can't do that. You can't. But if you say, I can do it, I will do it, I'm going to, I can do this, I'm doing it, I did it, then most likely you will. The Queen of Cups in reverse showing up is, I see some overly defensive energy here, all right? It's a message to show yourself the same kindness and respect that you show to others, to honor yourself. The Queen of Cups is also very healing, highly intuitive. Follow those intuitions, if you feel these impulses to do something and you have the time to do that, follow those impulses, all right? Believe in yourself, trust in your intuition here, okay? And that is where you will come into balance. And once you find this balance, the last two cards here, once you find this balance, this is the energy that's coming out. The Lovers and the Emperor. So the Lovers is about making choices from the heart. It is that law of attraction card, right? I'm seeing the law of attraction here. It could show up in the Two of Cups as well, but that's the energy I'm feeling with this here. All right, what are you attracting in? What are you thinking about here? What are you attracting in? What are you saying about yourself? What do you believe about yourself? Are you making decisions from the heart? Making that commitment to yourself? How do your desires influence your choices? All right? And with the Emperor, of course, this is full of competence, a maverick, a trailblazer. This represents power and control. The Emperor lives life according to his own set of values. He is in charge. He's in the driver's seat. He is a leader. He stands up for what he believes in. This is a card of mastering yourself, getting on the ball, knowing your next move, feeling confident in yourself, having that belief in yourself. And I do see you getting there. All right. Thank you so much. I'm sending big hugs to this group here. All right. And have a beautiful rest of your day. Love and light. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose pile number 3, you chose this opalite. If you would like to view the shuffling for this pile, then that will be linked down below. All right. And if you resonate with this, if you like this reading, feel free, hit that like, share, subscribe button. It does help my channel grow, and I'm truly appreciative of all of you that do that. We're going to jump right in here, pile number 3. All right, so we have the Alpha of Alcyone. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Pardon me if I'm not. Actually, Alcyone here, that's actually a star in the constellation of Taurus. Maybe you have Taurus placements in your chart here. But first and foremost, I'm going to read right from the book like I did for the other piles here. And then we'll get into the other cards, all right? So here. A positive twist of fate and a windfall of good fortune are destined for you. Brightness and hope will alleviate negativity and give you the strength to find your way through a time of adversity or challenge. Finally, you will experience peace, love, and deep connection with your true self and the universe. Good things are on their way to you. So let's talk a little bit about this card. Alcyone is the brightest star in the Pleiades star system. The star holds the frequency of love, the healing power of compassion, and the grace of mercy. And talking a little bit about this card, we have to talk a little bit about the myths of ancient Greece here for a moment. Alcyone was so in love with her husband that she referred to him as Zeus, and he referred to her as the divine wife, Hera. The real Zeus was so irritated by that when her husband was out to sea, Zeus struck his ship with a lightning bolt. And when that happened, she then threw herself into the sea. And being moved by this act of mercy, the gods transformed these two lovers into kingfishers. And those birds embody the spiritual medicine of abundance, love, prosperity, peace, and happiness, bringing blessings of hope and healing to all of humanity. So that's a little story that goes along with this card here. And when this card makes an appearance in your reading, it indicates that you have been in this deep, darkest phase of suffering. And it is an indication that you can trust you are already beginning to emerge on the other side. All right, so you've been through it, but you are emerging here. All right, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Actually, you know what? I want to talk about the, we have alpha here, and I'm being urged to talk about alpha brainwaves as well here. Maybe that's something you're interested in, or somebody is here, so let's touch on that. They're deep calming waves. They are what we experience when we're daydreaming or slipping into that peaceful relaxation or meditation. In the alpha state, imagination and intuition are heightened. As such, these brain waves are a gateway into the subconscious mind, as that bridge between conscious everyday awareness and deep altered states. Alpha waves allow us to be awake and functioning, well connected to that inner well of wisdom and support. So when we're in a state of stimulation overload, that those alpha waves are blocked. So learning to consciously switch off and relax helps us, melt away stress, tune into our intuition without becoming unfocused here. Perhaps you want to look at any alpha meditations here as well. The energy in this card really supports you in relaxing and reconnecting to optimism even during those tough times, because it's in that state we realize that difficulties will eventually come to an end, and that's what I see here. All right. You will be provided for. There is a new reality of happiness that is available to you. And as you continue to make your way to the light, you'll start seeing signs of this happy new start. They're telling me birds before land. So look for signs here before your manifestation, before your happiness comes. You'll see signs here. All right. So moving on here. Release the rigid thinking here. All right, so we have valerian here, and that is this plant right here that is the cat has laid around. So releasing rigid thoughts or beliefs or expectations. The message that comes with this particular card is as follows. How funny, because we have our cat here. This is Ozzy. He came during another reading here, so hopefully he'll lay down and be peaceful. The message here, so talking about valerian, that plant here, hopefully again I'm pronouncing that right. Valerian dreams of being a cat. All right, and the message here is that in her efforts to become more cat-like, she's produced this animal-like oil that acts as a perfume to those feline friends. To us, it might smell much like a sweaty gym sock. It doesn't smell very nice, right? But why a cat, you might ask? And Valerian has been watching felines and has come to this conclusion that cats are rather shameless and more content because of it. Right? I mean, look at my cat right now. Here, the message here, she's asking you to aspire to a life of free from excessive criticism here. Sorry, my cat. Not be so critical, so rigid in your thinking. This card really begs you to relax your armored body, your stiff thoughts, your rigid emotions. Relax, take a nap, and don't feel sorry about it. All right, Ozzy. We also have this Pay It Forward card. All right, so we'll try to work with this cat and hopefully he will lay down. So we have Pay It Forward. Okay, so be the answer to someone else's prayer, and helping others, that can also be the quickest way to help ourselves sometimes, right? The infinite love of the universe is present in all of us, and each individual has the ability to really demonstrate this love at any given moment. Extend love and kindness to others by way of your time, your attention, your resources. Reflect the love of the universe to all beings, and you will receive the same love in return. Your place and contribution in this universal family is unique. You're like no one else, and you never know how much of an impact even small works of kindness have in this greater scheme. Each and every member has a role to play. So shifting our attention to someone else who may need our help can be a good way to engage in that infinite flow of generosity here, all right? So what are you able to share with others? Reaching out to give also connects us to others in ways that are exactly what we need at exactly the right time. So if you're feeling a desire to give, don't stifle it. And when in doubt, remember how it feels to receive, what it feels like to be thought of, considered, and seen. Before I move on to the next card here, we're going to have to, I'm trying to, maybe he can lay down here, but he is messing this up. I'm going to have to pause this and put him down. All right, we're beginning with this card once more here. uh, Embracing sensitivity. So, appreciating beauty requires sensitivity, a vulnerable feeling. Yet the world needs more sensitivity, not less. So, embrace it. Don't deny your emotional needs. Sensitivity is commonly looked down upon, and all of us have a soft side. It is a stronger person who can accept this part of themselves without hiding it. So, denying our sensitivity may temporarily protect us against some cruelty or ugliness that we're facing, helping us to soldier up in those difficult environments. However, if we disconnect our emotional needs for too long, we start to inadvertently perpetuate that same cruelty and ugliness that once hurt us because we're no longer in touch with ourselves. So, this card comes as a reminder to you that it's okay to be sensitive, to indulge in the lighthearted, the creative, the quiet, the tender, the arts, music, dance, spending time out in nature, doing whatever you need to get in touch with yourself and to feel that again. Don't cast aside your sensitivity. It is not a weakness, it is a strength. All right. And you have this fittingly card of delicate balance. I feel like we've been talking about this delicate balance here, this rigid thinking, this pushing down of your sensitive side, this not sharing of your time, your gifts with others because maybe there's a rigid belief that you have to work all day every day over time and life is hard and that's it. Okay? So we have this delicate balance. Allow the delicious nectar of life to bring you back to your center. So maybe you've flown a bit off course. All right? This wise hummingbird is here to gently nudge you back to your center, where that current flows in your path unfolds with clarity. Life and all of nature require this delicate balance, a dance, if you will, that ebb and flow, that give and take, that push and pull. You are this brilliantly designed being with an accurate ability that helps you to measure when you're leaning too heavily in one direction. And your emotions and your body give you those indicators, such as your feelings. Are you tired? Do you feel depleted, stressed, confused, anxious? Those are the indicators. The key is to know your center and sense when you're drifting off course. And the sooner you can restore yourself to that solid foundation, to your center, the better chance you have at moving forward, at avoiding that crash, if you will. All right? So we have, what I see here is you're being guided to regain your balance by following the example of really this hummingbird here, all right? Whose mission is always to nourish itself by taking in as much nectar as it needs. Take a moment to reflect on where you can add more sweetness in your life today. If you've been feeling overwhelmed, it's time to treat yourself to a warm bath, a nap, a walk. Call a friend that always makes you smile. On the other hand, if you've felt stuck or bored, maybe it's time to create more of an energy flow through like action, physical exercise, working on a creative project, or journaling about your thoughts and feelings. You and only you intuitively know what you need. So take time today to pause, maybe a few times during the day. Notice your breath. Take long inhales and exhales. Find your center. And with practice, you'll become more steady on your feet and, in life soon enough. You'll be stress-free. You'll be on that sweet path. You'll be in the flow. You'll be finding fun in life again, okay? So moving on, strength. Now, the words here, strength and grace through kindness, self-confidence, and forgiveness. But strength is so much more than that. It's that inner power, that self-discipline, that perseverance, patience with ourselves. It's finding that inner power, and how we cultivate that inner power is by facing our fears, by having love, respect, and compassion for yourself. Knowing how to be assertive, standing up for yourself, maintaining your boundaries while being gentle, loving, and respectful. To be truly strong means to understand others, not just tolerate them, but to accept them as they are, as well as yourself. When we experience anger in others, it's normal to react the same way. But realize that when others lash out, it's coming from a place of fear or pain. So treating others the way you wish to be treated, understanding others the way you wish to be understood. Don't identify your soft, gentle side as a weakness. It is a strength. Now, the next few cards here, if you'd like to view the shuffling of this, that's linked down below. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier here, but as I was shuffling this out, I even spoke during the shuffling, which I don't normally do. This is an amazing reading. And I'm going to show all these cards here. Change Your Life, the Wheel of Fortune, and an Epiphany. And I'm going to show you what they're leading to. All right, so let's talk just briefly on all of these because they all carry the same meaning here. I'll read you the words on the card, and then we'll keep moving forward here. Change Your Life, card number 16. So 16 is, as it relates to the Rider-Waite deck, card number 16 is that tower, that disruption, that sudden change, right? I love the Tower card in a reading because things have to fall apart if they weren't correct. They have to have a chance to come back together, right? So this is a sudden revelation that offers freedom. That is the Tower card. Freedom, a release from the past. Break free of procrastination. Embrace the opportunities that change brings. Don't fight this change, because we'll get into where you're headed. Okay, but so we have this change, this sudden change. And now is the right time. The Wheel of Fortune is divine timing. This is a new beginning, the end of delays, a change in direction that offers happiness. I mean, you can read it right there on the card here, but this is relating to the Wheel of Fortune. Everything happens in divine timing. You can't control, releasing how you want things to turn out, when and where, how things should be. Releasing that and allowing this change to happen, because it will happen in divine timing. You can't force anything ever. All right, we have this Epiphany card, which is amazing here. All right, joy through spiritual growth, be a light to others, answers that come through meditation. And being a light, I mean, we talked about that. Being a light to others, we touched on that. A light for all of humanity. I feel like you have a huge purpose here. And pile number 3, I feel like you have a purpose, not just you alone, but I feel like there are others. There are your soul tribe here, all right, with a purpose together, or somebody in particular. That's just the feeling I get when I look at these cards, all right? So there is an epiphany coming. Meditate, be quiet, embrace your sensitive side, have that bath, have that nap, go for a walk, all right? Because this is leading you to the Ace of Raphael. Now, aces are new beginnings. We talked about this new beginning right here. Now is the time, all right? You're emerging from this dark period to embrace this new beginning, to pay it forward, to shine your light, to share your experiences, your journey, your life with others, to help others, right? So we have a positive new emotional experience, fulfilling romantic relationships. You may be welcoming in some great love also here. Deep and lasting spiritual insights. This is a brand new beginning. This is, I'm feeling that positive emotions just overflowing, not just in a romantic relationship, but in all our relationships, right? When we accept others as they are, when we understand others as we want to be understood, right? And you have the Queen of Wands coming out. Now this is the confident, creative, joyful energy here, very outgoing, full of energy, but the Queen of Wands is full of light. The Queen of Wands is somebody that walks into a room that captivates others. It's sort of a moth to a flame. She is the flame, right? Others want to be her, want to be around her. And I feel like that is your energy, all right? You're like attracting everybody around you here, all right? She accepts herself. She loves herself. She's confident in her own skin. She embraces her uniqueness, maybe even her weirdness at times also, and isn't apologetic about it. You also have this card number 39. Now this says, better than you can imagine. So there's a dragonfly here. Before the dragonfly becomes his or her most authentic self into the dragonfly, they spend about, I think, 4 years maybe. I don't know. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong down below. But I think that's the case. Underwater as this creepy little nymph creature. The dragonfly nymph has no comprehension of their greatness. How could this little nymph creature that lives underwater even remotely fathom that there exists another atmosphere? They have no perception of the air in which they will not only live in, but fly in and thrive in, right? So the dragonfly here brings this message about your belief in your future self. The message here is that your perception of reality may be quite limited in your image of your future, this rigidness, right? And that's okay. Be aware of this. If you have a dream, this dragonfly is telling you all you have to do is work on it, and life will do the rest for you. Don't try to figure out what it's supposed to look like with this limited perception that you have. Don't look at setbacks as the end of the world. They were meant to happen to propel you and stretch you further. So keep working on your dream, and life will create something so much bigger than you have the ability to currently understand. You don't see it because your perception is very rigid and limited right now, all right? But there is work being done behind the scenes, okay? And I like how we circle back here, because the message in this card, the Dragonfly Medicine, teaches you first to surrender your need for something like that limited view in your head, that rigid thinking, right? We're releasing that. Have absolute trust that life will deliver something greater, and it will. And to also be patient, to get excited that something bigger than your dreams is about to happen, because honestly, I see it right here. We have we have this King of Wands here focusing on his vision, right? This King of Wands focusing on everything he's dreamt about. Keep focusing on your dreams. Keep that vision in your head. Make sure it's clear. Write it down. Make a vision board. Keep moving in the direction of your dreams, because they're going to be better than you can even imagine. In fact, what I see here is that you will be spoiled for choice. The King of Wands is a passionate person. This is a visionary. This is a free spirit, somebody very unique, somebody that is full of integrity, fearless, inspires others, right? Somebody very strong-willed and keeps moving forward, keeps that vision clear in their head and isn't distracted. And on a final note, I do have to point out here that we do have a divine counterpart. Two separate decks, yes, but we have a Queen of Wands and a King of Wands here. And we do have this card of, my cat stopped by to say hi again, of a positive new emotional experience, fulfilling romantic relationships. I feel like you have yet to come into contact with your divine counterpart, somebody that carries a light just like you, perhaps somebody that has been through this difficult struggle of releasing rigid thoughts just like you here, all right? and coming into their own. So that is the message I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care. Too many. Wow. Wow, this is an amazing reading here.